Welcome back, everybody. I'm playing more 1510 on Lead Chess, as I always do. We got a good opponent this time, it looks like. CBHZJ, if I can say all those letters in the correct order. And he's 2200, so I'm intimidated. And this is the Bogo Indian, if I remember correctly. And I don't know much about it. So we will perhaps learn. I've faced this before, but that doesn't mean that I remember what I'm supposed to do. I think probably I'm supposed to just play g3 and get ready to Fianchetto the bishop. I suppose e3 is also not insane. These bishops are going to be traded. There's no way for him to retreat, so e3 actually maybe makes even more sense. If we're going to trade dark square bishops, I might as well control the dark squares with my pawns. But admittedly, this bishop would look a little nicer over here, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess d3 would be a pretty good square for the bishop. I guess I'll stick with e3. That was sort of my feeling anyway. What I talked myself around into feeling, but okay, he just castles. Bishop d3 feels pretty natural. I guess I need to think about these pawn breaks at some point for black. Probably c5 doesn't make a whole lot of sense just yet, because then when I take, he has to capture away from the center, but he could like trade bishops and then play c5. I think that's sort of okay. I mean, maybe I have to worry about like if he is able to take and this pawn gets drawn away, you know, there could be some stuff going on here. But I think if I'm ready to castle, that should be fine. Oh, this feels like the most active square for the bishop. I guess I didn't really talk about d5, which also seems like a logical pawn break. Okay, he did do that. Probably just take with the queen, let the knight go to the favorite square. If there's any benefit to this, it would be trying to recycle the knight to g3 probably. Which is interesting. I mean, I could be really ambitious and do that and play h4, h5 and try to attack him. Admittedly, you know, seems like it could be difficult for him to develop some of this stuff. It is tempting. Now, if I do this, and he gives me a check, then I've got to make a move that I don't like. So maybe that plan doesn't really make all that much sense. I mean, I could take with the knight, castle, play rook e1, then do this. But it looks more fun if my rook's on the h-file. I think I'm probably just going to take with the queen and say that this plan doesn't really hold water. And I can still bring the knight to the king side if I want to attack. Let's just take with the queen. Okay. Probably he's going to play e5. That looks like his pawn break of choice. If e5 hits, then he'll be threatening e4 with a fork. I might just play e4 myself. But then he's the one with the pawns on dark squares, and I'm the one with them on light squares. I wonder if I need to do something. I could play like knight c3 and queen c2 and just say that, just try to make it difficult for him to get e4 on the board. Because yeah, this is an annoying pawn break that I don't know that I can do much about. I mean, I guess queen c3 is legal. It feels very weird. And it's a temporary measure. He'll just bring the knight and he'll be ready to break again. I think I mean I think knight c3 makes sense. Like that's where the knight's going to go anyway. Yeah. Yeah, and I should have just castled. I shouldn't have played knight c3 because now, I mean, he's threatening this, and he also has this going on. I guess I can just take it. Like I could play queen c2. I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. But yeah, I definitely should have castled before knight c3, I believe. But, you know, I don't think I mean, if he takes and I have to take with the knight, that doesn't look too bad. Like, I have, you know, I can try to play knight f5. I don't think he wants to make, I don't think he wants to play g6. Okay, he just wants to recapture with the knight, and he wants to go here. Yes, he does. Yeah, I really should have castled. I feel like I might have to play d5 and just try to keep things locked, but let him take the bishop. It seemed like a concession. I guess I could also just take. Maybe that is best. Take and then castle. He doesn't have e4 yet. I guess that's... Yeah, but I mean, he still has knight b4. Can I take and play a3, or is that just getting too greedy? In any event, I think that I need to take. I guess there's still knight b4. And there's no taking the knight because this is check. Okay. If I play a3, what move am I scared of? Bishop g4, I think just knight d2 seems okay. I mean, if this knight can't trade itself off, then it's sort of a weird knight. Like, it's blocking the c-pawn. It doesn't have a fantastic looking square to my eyes. I think I am going to try to get away with this and just claim that he doesn't really have that useful of a move here. I guess he's going to play rook e8. Threaten the fork again. I could play knight e4 and we trade. f5 near the end of all that, but I can take his knight and kind of mess him up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get away with everything here. You know, I didn't look at knight here, but that was something to look at. But I can just take with the knight, I believe. Okay. That's really tempting me to try some h4 business. That is quite the temptation. That would basically just mean castling long here, or just playing h4 right away, but... I mean, now I don't really want this knight to be able to trade itself off. Like, I was thinking of blocking this up. How to avoid that, though? At some point, this is going to be threatened. Maybe I do need to try to soften the diagonal here. I don't know. I think I'm going to go for it. I'm not sure, but it looks... both... every plan looks sort of risky. I mean, you know, this move makes it more appealing to try to attack. Like, I have a hook. I mean, if I can make the g-pawn move, then, you know, this is, you know, probably a pretty strong idea. So, and I figured, like, maybe we go here, 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 and he plays f5, but then, you know, his king's getting weak, and I have, you know, I have play, so... I mean, knight g5 is also an option. Knight g5, h6, bishop g6. I think he can just play h takes g5. Yeah, I think we better go here. Well, I could do this. And then if he plays h6, just reroute the knight here. And claim that making h6 is a weakening move. That's not really too hard to believe. Let's do that. As usual, I'm horrifically low on time. My opponent's been playing pretty much instantly. Okay, yeah, I mean, he's going to try to come in here, I think. I think the only thing for it is to also attack. He could play knight b4, maybe. Then I have to... maybe I can just take it. Maybe it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I mean... surely this exchange sack is good if that happens. Surely. Hard to believe that wouldn't be good. So yeah, I think we just got to send it. There's not really concrete calculation backing this up. Just I've been on the receiving end of this kind of stuff before, so like I know it works. I don't know if I'll do it right, but yeah, and we just sack the exchange and we don't look back. That's how to do it. But yeah, I mean, we have obvious compensation. I don't know if we can take here right away, because here this knight's loose, so we gotta be a little circumspect. But we have the queen defending. Okay, let's come in. F4 maybe? Try to hold everything. Bishop G8 is something to calculate. Bishop G8 is sort of spicy. He can't take my knight. I don't think. Okay, yeah, he definitely can't take the knight. He can't take the bishop. Oh, maybe he can play rook takes bishop. Yeah, I think he can take with the rook, sadly. Okay, F4 feels pretty right. F4 takes knight here. Am I sacking another exchange? Just keep sacking. Oh wait, no, it's undefended there. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like he can take and check and try to pick up this pawn. This feels like somehow that shouldn't work. That just, it feels greedy. But sometimes greed is good. Mm-hmm. Maybe just keep up the tempo. I don't think this quite within like F6 looks kind of scary. I think maybe here. I have to think about the queen getting deflected away from the bishop. That's true. I did forget about that. And I throw this in. Does that achieve anything? I think not, because he can go here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I got a G file now. It's going to be very important that I checkmate him, though. Very, very important. Probably going to have to give him a check. Yeah, how am I keeping a hold of this is the question. It is a good question. Yes, yes. Okay, let's give check. And then I'm going to go here, and he can't take my bishop. Because he'll get checkmated. This is tenuous, though, because if I ever move the bishop, then, like, rook here could be problematic. Which is what he would like to point out, I think. Okay, but this guy is loose. So let's remind him of that. Oh, that's check. I didn't know that. All right, well, that's probably a problem. You still got to be a little careful to not get mated or something. You got to be a little careful here. Dang, he saw it. And he wants here. We can't let that happen. Ah! Okay, well, I can't let that happen. Although I did just let it happen. Yeah, I don't want to trade with you. Man, I'm down a lot of material. What happened? Who hung all my pieces? The culprit. Draw agreed? Repetition? Yeah, it's a shame that I'm down so much material. All right, I guess I'll give up. That seems like a good course of action. Yeah. I mean, he kind of just crushed me on the clock. Like, he just moved immediately, and everything he did was right. That's unfortunate. Let's see what the computer has to say. It felt like I should have had, like, I don't know. It felt like that exchange stack should have been right. Like, it felt like I should have somehow been winning here. Like, if I had black, I'd be losing. You know what I mean? So maybe the computer will say white's fine, but if I had black, I would lose every time. So I have to play it. Yeah, it's thinking about it. He also might be underrated. He gained 24 points for that. Usually means, oh, he only, okay, so it's a relatively new account. He only had 17 previous rapid games. Yeah, so I'm actually winning here. Knight takes h7, I saw was legal. You know, that makes so much sense because that's just like a pawn. Like, he can't, I mean, if he takes, then I have this because my bishop's good. So I don't even have to sacrifice anything. I can just take stuff. That was kind of silly. And if that's not cool enough of a way to win back the piece, I could probably try to do some like g4 stuff. But okay, that takes too long. Okay, I'm still good here. It wants to take with the knight. And that's much better, it claims. I mean, that's a little less loose, which, I mean, it did sort of cause me some problems later, that things were loosey-goosey over there. Yeah. And it gives knight ge4, which I assume that if he takes, he gets mated, like, with some double check. Like, this is... knight g5, it says, will lead to mate. I was assuming knight d5, or knight f6, which also leads to mate. But yeah, so double check. Then we sack our knight. Then we got another knight. And I'm just giving a computer line because I can't actually calculate this. Gives this as the optimal solution. Okay, so that's a cool mate. And then if we do it this way, there's also mate. Always sack the knight. G4 check. Now that's interesting. Because this is mate. Because he blocked his own square there, if he had done that. And then, yeah, obviously this is going to lead to mate. Absent any calculation. And then it says queen d1 and good luck stopping mate. And then this is mate. And then this is mate. Now there's lots of mates. Well, two. But this one. And also this one, which is cuter. Okay, so all of that is a long-winded way to say that knight ge4 is actually fine. Intuitively, it sort of makes sense that, like, probably black shouldn't walk into double check. What did I do instead? I played f4. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And here it wants... It's thinking about bishop g8, but it says black's just winning. I mean, the annoying thing is that I saw this line. I was just like, okay, I guess I've got to have something. But I don't. Yeah, and then this was sort of dumb. Like, I don't see that my knight's hanging. But, I mean, it's not hanging, but, like, I didn't see that bishop takes knight was legal. Okay, I'll give myself some props for a creative solution here. This actually was the best line, rook g1 and queen g2. avoiding the queen trade, but it's just too little too late. And here, yeah, I mean, this just hangs, I didn't see this as hanging with check, so I got low on time, which, I mean, I guess is my fault, but I mean, my opponent spent no time for the whole game. He ended the game with more time than he had, so I mean, what can you do? I mean, part of that is my fault for playing slow, but I mean, still, the guy never thinks, so I don't know, what am I supposed to do? So the opening went well, actually. I mean, I did just kind of fly through that. Maybe I should actually attempt to learn. So G3 is the most common move here. E3's been played, but not with particularly good results. The computer is still happy. Yeah, and I mean, I even felt like there was some pressure here, but it's still kind of fine. It wants to play bishop c2, which I saw was legal. That at least gets out of this fork thing. So I'm wondering if that happens and he goes here, am I just going back to g1? It says knight g5. Okay, because he's going to have trouble defending this. Okay, that makes sense. That makes quite a bit of sense. So I did it this way. And then this is actually inaccurate. Yeah, because he could play knight b4 right now, which I saw later. And I guess he didn't see it. Because I think if he sees that, he would definitely play it. So he was maybe a little bit asleep at the wheel. And a3 was, yeah, so I mean, the opening sort of went okay. It doesn't even hate long castles. It wants to play knight d5, which I saw was legal, but I didn't really understand why I was playing it. I thought I wanted this knight to remain here. It seems like it's sort of in the way. Yeah. H4 is, yeah, I mean, everything was sort of right, but I mean, by the time we got here, I'm already down 10 minutes on the clock somehow. And I don't know that he did anything special with his moves. He kind of just made natural moves. So, I mean, I guess for the 1000th time, the lesson is play a little faster, dude. But one of these days, maybe I'll learn.